Your mind is a battlefield. Every single day, countless thoughts try to invade, some empowering, others destructive. Your mouth is a weapon capable of speaking life or poisoning your future. And your money? It's a reflection of your discipline, your priorities, and your ability to control your impulses. If you can master these three, your mind, your mouth, and your money, you will unlock a level of success and peace that most people only dream about. Your mind is the most powerful tool you have, yet it can also be your greatest enemy if you don't take control of it. Every day, thousands of thoughts pass through your mind, shaping the way you see yourself, others, and the world around you. Some thoughts push you forward, inspiring confidence and determination, while others hold you back, filling you with fear, doubt, and insecurity. The battle for success is not one externally, it is one internally, in the silent conversations you have with yourself. If you can control your mind, you can control your future. The problem is that most people allow their thoughts to run unchecked. They accept every negative idea that enters their head as truth without questioning its validity. They allow past failures, societal pressures, and self-imposed limitations to dictate their reality. Instead of recognizing their potential, they become prisoners of their own minds, stuck in cycles of self-doubt and hesitation. The difference between those who succeed and those who remain stagnant is not intelligence, talent, or luck. It is the ability to master the mind. Your thoughts are not just random. They have power. Every thought you entertain influences your emotions, which in turn affect your actions. If you constantly think about your shortcomings, you will feel unworthy, and that feeling will manifest in your actions. You will hesitate, procrastinate, and make choices that reinforce your negative beliefs. On the other hand, if you train yourself to focus on your strengths, your mind will create an internal environment that fosters confidence, motivation, and resilience. The first step to controlling your mind is awareness. You must become conscious of what you are thinking and how it affects you. Most people don't even realize the destructive thoughts they entertain daily. They say things to themselves that they would never say to someone they care about. I'll never be successful. I always mess things up. I'm not smart enough. These statements, though seemingly small, shape their self-image and keep them trapped in a cycle of negativity. If you don't challenge these thoughts, they will become your reality. To break free from negative thinking, you must actively replace destructive thoughts with empowering ones. This is not about ignoring reality or pretending that challenges don't exist. It is about choosing to focus on what you can control instead of what you can't. Instead of saying, I always fail, say, every failure is a lesson that makes me wiser. Instead of thinking, I'm not good enough, remind yourself, I have the ability to learn and improve. The words you use in your mind create the blueprint for your life. If you speak powerfully to yourself, you will live powerfully. One of the greatest obstacles to controlling your mind is fear. Fear paralyzes people, keeping them from taking risks, chasing their dreams, or stepping out of their comfort zones. It whispers lies, making them believe that failure is permanent, that they are not capable, and that they should settle for less than they deserve. But fear is only an illusion. It exists only as long as you give it power. The moment you decide to confront your fears, they begin to lose their grip on you. Controlling your mind also means being mindful of what you expose yourself to. The things you watch, listen to, and read shape your thinking more than you realize. If you surround yourself with negativity, news that breeds fear, social media that promotes comparison, and people who complain constantly, your mind will naturally absorb those influences. But if you fill your mind with wisdom, inspiration, and knowledge, your thoughts will begin to reflect those positive inputs. Protecting your mental space is just as important as protecting your physical space. Another critical aspect of mastering your mind is training yourself to stay in the present. Many people allow their thoughts to be consumed by regrets from the past or anxieties about the future. They replay past mistakes, wishing they had done things differently, or they worry endlessly about things that haven't even happened yet. But the past cannot be changed, and the future is shaped by what you do now. When you learn to focus on the present moment, you gain the power to make decisions that lead to a better future, rather than being controlled by a past you cannot change. Ultimately, controlling your mind is a daily practice. It requires commitment, discipline, and self-awareness. You must consistently challenge negative thoughts, replace them with empowering beliefs, and guard your mental space from destructive influences. When you master your mind, you gain the ability to navigate life with clarity, purpose, and resilience. Instead of being controlled by your thoughts, you take control of them, and in doing so, you take control of your destiny. Words are not just sounds or symbols, they are forces that shape reality. The way you speak, whether to yourself or others, has the power to create opportunities or destroy them, to build relationships or break them, to bring success or invite failure. Every word that leaves your mouth carries energy, and once it is spoken, it cannot be taken back. Many people underestimate the impact of their words, throwing them around carelessly without realizing they're setting the course of their lives. What you say matters, and if you do not learn to control your mouth, it will control you. One of the most destructive habits people develop is speaking negatively about themselves. They reinforce their own limitations by constantly saying things like, "I'm not good enough, I always fail," or "I can't do this." When repeated over time, these statements become beliefs, and those beliefs dictate their actions. If a person tells themselves they are unlucky, they will begin to act in ways that reinforce that belief. They will hesitate to take risks, dismiss opportunities, and sabotage their own progress without even realizing it. The subconscious mind listens to everything you say, and it takes your words as truth. If you repeatedly affirm weakness, doubt, or failure, your subconscious mind will make sure that becomes your reality. It's not just about how you talk to yourself, it's also about how you talk to others. Words can heal, uplift, and inspire, but they can also wound, discourage, and break relationships. Some people lose jobs, friendships, and opportunities simply because they fail to control what comes out of their mouths. A reckless word spoken in anger, a sarcastic remark, or a careless comment can do irreversible damage. People often remember words more than actions because words leave an emotional impact. You may forget an event, but you will always remember how someone's words made you feel. Many conflicts in life arise simply because people speak without thinking. They react impulsively, saying things they later regret. The problem is that once words are spoken, they cannot be taken back. An apology can mend a situation, but it cannot erase the words from someone's memory. This is why mastering the ability to control your speech is one of the greatest skills you can develop. Before speaking, ask yourself, is this true? Is this necessary? Is this helpful? If your words do not serve a constructive purpose, it is often better to remain silent. Silence is not weakness, it is wisdom. Speaking with purpose means choosing words that align with the life you want to create. Instead of saying, "I can't," say, "I will find a way." Instead of saying, "I'm always struggling," say, "I'm overcoming challenges and growing stronger." This doesn't mean ignoring reality. It means shaping reality with the power of intentional speech. Great leaders, visionaries, and successful individuals understand this principle. They use words to inspire, to set a vision, and to direct their own minds toward their goals. A major challenge in controlling your speech is emotional discipline. People often say the wrong things when they are angry, frustrated, or insecure. Words spoken in an emotional outburst can cause lasting damage. The ability to pause, breathe, and think before responding is a sign of maturity. It is far better to remain silent and respond later with clarity than to speak in the heat of the moment and create problems that could have been avoided. Another crucial aspect of controlling your mouth is understanding the power of listening. Many people speak too much and listen too little. They interrupt, dominate conversations, or always feel the need to prove a point. But real wisdom comes from the ability to listen, process, and respond thoughtfully. When you listen more than you speak, you gain insight, avoid unnecessary conflicts, and develop deeper connections with others. Sometimes the most powerful response is simply to understand rather than to argue. The way you speak also influences how others perceive you. If you constantly complain, gossip, or speak negatively, people will begin to associate you with those behaviors. Negativity repels, while positivity attracts. Those who speak with confidence, wisdom, and encouragement naturally draw people toward them. They become leaders, trusted voices, and individuals others respect. Mastering your words is one of the most important steps toward mastering your life. The discipline to speak with purpose, to remain silent when necessary, and to choose words that build rather than destroy will set you apart from those who speak carelessly. Every word you say is a seed planted into your future. If you want to create a life of success, peace, and positive influence, it starts with controlling the words you allow to leave your mouth. Your mind is constantly absorbing information, whether you realize it or not. Every thought you entertain, every word you hear, every image you see, these things shape your thinking, your beliefs, and ultimately your actions. Most people do not pay attention to what they allow into their minds, and as a result, they become products of their environment rather than intentional creators of their lives. If you do not take control of what you feed your mind, it will be filled with whatever the world throws at you. And more often than not, that will be fear, negativity, and distractions. Your thoughts do not exist in isolation. They are influenced by everything around you. If you constantly expose yourself to negative news, toxic people, or pessimistic conversations, your mind will naturally adopt those patterns of thinking. If you surround yourself with wisdom, inspiration, and success-driven ideas, your mind will reflect that. This is why you must become extremely selective about what you allow into your mental space. Your mind is like a garden. If you do not intentionally plant good seeds, weeds will take over. One of the most powerful ways to guard your mind is to be mindful of the media you consume. The content you watch, the books you read, the social media posts you scroll through, all of these things influence your subconscious in ways you may not immediately realize. If you fill your mind with mindless entertainment, gossip, and negativity, you will struggle to develop a mindset of growth and discipline. On the other hand, if you consume content that expands your thinking, challenges your beliefs, and inspires action, your mind will naturally move in a direction of success. The choice is yours, but whatever you consistently expose yourself to will eventually shape your reality. Another important aspect of guarding your mind is controlling the company you keep. The people you surround yourself with are a direct reflection of where you are headed in life. If you spend most of your time with individuals who complain, make excuses, and settle for mediocrity, you will inevitably adopt those same behaviors. But if you surround yourself with people who challenge you to grow, who push you to be better, and who hold you accountable, you will naturally elevate. Relationships are powerful, and the conversations you engage in daily will either lift you up or pull you down. You must be intentional about who you allow into your inner circle. Protecting your mind also requires self-discipline in the way you think. Negative thoughts will always try to enter, but you do not have to accept them. Just because a thought enters your mind does not mean it is true or that it deserves your attention. The key is to recognize destructive thoughts and replace them before they take root. When a thought of doubt, fear, or limitation arises, challenge it. Ask yourself if it is based on facts or just an emotional reaction. If it does not serve you, let it go and replace it with a thought that empowers you. Another crucial way to guard your mind is by focusing on personal growth. The more you invest in developing yourself, the stronger your mental defenses become. Reading books, learning new skills, seeking mentorship, and practicing self-reflection all contribute to a sharper, more disciplined mind. Growth is not automatic. It requires effort. You must actively seek knowledge, push beyond your comfort zone, and refuse to remain stagnant. The stronger your mind becomes, the less vulnerable it is to negativity and distractions. The key to controlling what enters your mind is awareness. Many people allow influences into their lives without realizing the long-term impact. They watch a few negative videos, engage in unproductive conversations, or entertain small doubts, and over time, these things accumulate, shaping their identity. But when you become intentional about what you feed your mind, you take back control. You begin to shape your thoughts instead of being shaped by outside forces. You develop the ability to filter out negativity and focus on things that contribute to your growth. And as a result, your mindset shifts, your confidence increases, and your life begins to align with the vision you have for yourself. Every word you speak has the power to build or destroy, to encourage or discourage, to open doors or shut them forever. Many people underestimate the weight of their words, speaking carelessly without considering the long-term impact. What you say not only affects those around you, but it also programs your own mind to believe certain things about yourself and the world. This is why thinking before you speak is one of the most valuable habits you can develop. If you do not take control of your words, they will take control of your life. One of the biggest mistakes people make is speaking without thinking. especially in emotional moments. When anger, frustration, or fear take over, words often come out that were never meant to be spoken. A single reckless statement can ruin relationships, create unnecessary conflict, or damage your reputation. Even if you apologize later, the damage is done. Words cannot be taken back. This is why mastering the ability to pause before speaking is a sign of wisdom and maturity. Taking a moment to think can prevent you from saying something that you will regret for years. Another reason to think before you speak is that your words shape the way others perceive you. If you are constantly complaining, criticizing, or speaking negatively, people will associate you with those qualities. On the other hand, if you choose to speak with confidence, encouragement, and wisdom, people will see you as a person of value. Your words create an impression long before your actions do. When you speak with purpose and intention, you naturally attract opportunities, respect, and trust. Speaking with wisdom requires filtering your words before they leave your mouth. A useful practice is to ask yourself 3 simple questions before speaking. Is it true? Is it necessary? Is it helpful? If a statement does not meet these criteria, it is often best left unsaid. Many people waste energy speaking about things that do not matter, engaging in gossip, or making comments that serve no real purpose. The more disciplined you become with your words, the more powerful they become. Instead of speaking just to fill silence, you begin to speak with purpose, making your words meaningful and impactful. Another important aspect of thinking before you speak is understanding timing. Even the right words can become harmful if spoken at the wrong time. Some conversations require patience, emotional control, and careful consideration. Speaking too soon or in the wrong setting can lead to misunderstandings, conflicts, or unnecessary stress. Knowing when to speak and when to remain silent is an art that can only be developed through mindfulness and self-awareness. Sometimes silence is more powerful than words. The way you speak to yourself is just as important as the way you speak to others. Many people talk themselves out of opportunities before they even begin, using words of doubt and limitation. They say, "I can't," "I'm not good enough," or "this will never work." What they fail to realize is that these words shape their reality. When you repeatedly tell yourself something, your subconscious mind begins to believe it, and your actions follow. If you constantly reinforce negative thoughts with negative speech, you will limit yourself without even realizing it. Choosing your words carefully also applies to setting goals and creating the life you want. The words you use when talking about your future influence your mindset and motivation. Instead of saying, "I hope I succeed," say, "I will succeed." Instead of saying, "I'm trying," say, "I am doing." Small changes in wording create a powerful shift in mentality. Speaking with certainty and belief strengthens your determination and makes success feel inevitable. One of the most valuable skills a person can develop is learning to listen more and speak less. Many people listen only to respond, rather than to understand. They interrupt, assume, and dominate conversations, missing valuable insights in the process. When you listen more, you gain knowledge, build stronger relationships, and avoid unnecessary conflicts. Speaking with wisdom means knowing when to contribute and when to simply absorb what is being said. In many situations, the best response is to say nothing at all. Mastering the ability to think before you speak requires discipline, self-awareness, and patience. It is not about suppressing your voice or being afraid to express yourself. It is about making sure that every word you speak carries purpose, truth, and value. When you take control of your words, you take control of your life, shaping your relationships, your opportunities, and your future in a way that aligns with the person you want to become. Money is one of the most powerful tools in life, yet many people allow it to control them rather than taking control of it. Financial discipline is not just about making money, it is about managing, growing, and using it wisely. No matter how much a person earns, if they lack control over their spending, they will always feel like they do not have enough. Wealth is not just a number in a bank account, it is the ability to use money in a way that brings security, freedom, and opportunity. The way a person handles money is a direct reflection of their mindset, habits, and priorities. One of the biggest mistakes people make is spending money impulsively. They see something they want, and without thinking, they buy it. Whether it is a new gadget, unnecessary subscriptions, or expensive outings, impulse spending slowly drains financial resources. Many people justify these small purchases by saying it's just a little money, but over time, these small amounts add up to large sums. Financial discipline starts with awareness, knowing where every dollar goes and making sure it is being used wisely. Instead of spending mindlessly, it is important to ask, do I need this? Will this help me in the long run? Is this the best use of my money? A major reason why people struggle with money is that they do not prioritize saving. They believe they will start saving when they have more income, but the truth is that if saving is not a habit now, it will not become one later. No matter how little or how much a person earns, a portion should always be set aside for the future. The ability to delay gratification, choosing long-term financial stability over short-term pleasure, is what separates those who build wealth from those who struggle financially. Saving is not just about putting money aside. It is about creating options, reducing stress, and preparing for opportunities that may arise. Debt is another major issue that keeps people from achieving financial freedom. Many people fall into the trap of borrowing money to maintain a lifestyle they cannot afford. Credit cards, loans, and unnecessary financing deals often lead to a cycle of financial struggle. Borrowing money for investments, education, or business growth can be beneficial, but borrowing for luxury or temporary use, debt comes with interest, and over time it costs far more than the original amount borrowed. Breaking free from debt requires discipline, learning to live within one's means, and prioritizing paying off existing obligations before taking on new ones. Another crucial aspect of financial control is learning to make money work for you. Most people trade time for money, working for a paycheck that disappears as quickly as it arrives. But those who understand financial discipline find ways to make money grow through investments, passive income, and smart financial decisions. Instead of simply working for money, they put their money into things that generate more income over time. This could be real estate, stocks, a side business, or even skills that increase earning potential. The key is to shift from a mindset of spending to a mindset of investing. Many people struggle with money not because they do not earn enough, but because they do not have a plan. A budget is one of the simplest and most effective tools for financial control. It allows a person to see exactly where their money is going, identify areas of waste, and ensure that financial goals are being met. A budget is not about restriction, it is about freedom. When money is managed properly, stress is reduced and financial security is increased. Without a plan, money will always seem to disappear, and financial struggles will continue no matter how much is earned. A strong relationship with money is built on knowledge and discipline. Many people fear money or feel overwhelmed by financial decisions simply because they have never taken the time to learn. Understanding basic financial principles such as budgeting, investing, and debt management is essential for long-term success. The more a person educates themselves about money, the more confident and in control they become. Financial discipline is not about having a lot of money, it is about using money in a way that leads to long-term security and abundance. Emotional spending is one of the most common reasons people struggle with their finances. Many people do not spend money based on logic, they spend based on how they feel in the moment. Whether it is shopping as a way to deal with stress, buying expensive items to impress others, or using money to fill an emotional void, these habits create financial instability. The problem with emotional spending is that it provides only temporary satisfaction, but the financial consequences last much longer. Learning to separate emotions from financial decisions is a crucial step in achieving financial freedom. Money should be used as a tool to build security, not as a way to cope with emotions. One of the ways emotional spending takes control is through the culture of instant gratification. Society encourages people to want everything now: fast food, fast shipping, quick entertainment, and immediate results. This mindset extends to money, where people want luxuries, status symbols, and conveniences without waiting or planning. The result is overspending, excessive debt, and financial stress. People often convince themselves that they deserve something, even if they cannot afford it, simply because they had a tough day or feel the pressure to keep up with others. But true financial stability comes from delaying gratification, making sacrifices in the present to secure a better future. The ability to resist impulse purchases is a sign of financial maturity. Marketing and advertising play a huge role in emotional spending. Companies invest billions of dollars into making people feel like they need things they never even thought about before. Sales, discounts, and limited time offers create a sense of urgency, pushing people to spend money without thinking. Advertisements are designed to make people believe that buying a product will make them happier, more attractive, or more successful. But the truth is, material things provide only momentary satisfaction, and the cycle of wanting more never ends. The best way to combat this is by recognizing these emotional triggers and developing the discipline to walk away from unnecessary purchases. Another major factor in emotional spending is social pressure. Many people feel the need to maintain a certain lifestyle to fit in with friends, family, or society. They buy expensive clothes, dine at high-end restaurants, and take vacations they cannot afford just to keep up appearances. The fear of looking less successful than others leads people to make financial decisions that are not in their best interest. But real confidence and security do not come from how much money is spent. They come from knowing that money is being managed wisely. Financial peace comes from stability, not from impressing others. Emotional spending is also tied to deeper psychological patterns. For some, money is linked to self-worth. They feel successful only when they can spend freely, and they feel inadequate when they cannot afford luxuries. Others use spending as a way to escape their problems, similar to how people use food or entertainment for comfort. The key to breaking this cycle is self-awareness, understanding why money is being spent, and whether it is serving a meaningful purpose. Developing financial discipline is not just about controlling spending, it is about recognizing the emotional patterns that drive financial behavior. A practical way to overcome emotional spending is by setting financial goals. When there is a clear vision of what money should be used for, whether it is saving for a house, building an emergency fund, or investing in the future, it becomes easier to resist unnecessary purchases. Goals create direction and purpose, shifting the focus from immediate desires to long-term success. Every financial decision should be made with a bigger picture in mind rather than being based on momentary feelings. Tracking spending is another effective way to gain control. Many people do not realize how much money they waste on things they do not need until they see the numbers in front of them. Keeping a record of every expense helps identify patterns and makes it easier to cut back on unnecessary spending. It also brings a sense of responsibility, forcing individuals to be mindful of how they use their money. When spending is intentional rather than emotional, financial stability becomes achievable. Breaking free from emotional spending requires discipline and a shift in mindset. Money should be viewed as a resource that serves a purpose, not as a way to deal with emotions or impress others. Developing self-control, delaying gratification, and making financial decisions based on logic rather than impulse lead to lasting security. Financial freedom is not about how much money is earned, it is about how wisely it is used. Generosity is one of the most misunderstood aspects of financial success. Many people believe that giving away money will leave them with less, but the truth is that generosity has the power to increase wealth, not diminish it. When money is used to help others, whether through charity, supporting loved ones, or contributing to a cause, it creates a cycle of abundance. The act of giving changes a person's mindset from scarcity to abundance, reinforcing the belief that there will always be enough. A generous person operates from a place of confidence rather than fear, knowing that money is a tool to create positive change rather than something to hoard or control. One of the greatest benefits of generosity is that it shifts focus away from materialism. Many people are caught in a never-ending cycle of wanting more money, more possessions, more status. But no matter how much they acquire, it never feels like enough. This is because true fulfillment does not come from what is owned, but from the impact that can be made. When money is used to help someone in need, it brings a deeper sense of satisfaction than any material purchase ever could. Giving is one of the most powerful ways to break free from the endless pursuit of material wealth and discover a greater sense of purpose. Generosity also strengthens relationships. Money can create barriers between people, especially when it is used selfishly. But when it is used as a way to support and uplift others, it fosters connection and trust. A person who is willing to share their wealth, whether through financial help, acts of kindness, or simply investing in the success of others, builds stronger relationships. People remember generosity, and in times of need, those who have given selflessly often find that help returns to them in unexpected ways. One of the most overlooked aspects of generosity is that it builds a wealth mindset. Many people operate from a fear-based relationship with money, constantly worrying about not having enough. This fear leads to excessive saving, hoarding, or refusing to spend on anything beyond necessities. While saving is important, a mindset of fear prevents money from being used effectively. Generosity proves that money is a resource that flows, not something to be held onto tightly. When people give freely, they reinforce the belief that there is always more coming, and this belief often leads to greater financial opportunities. Another powerful effect of generosity is that it creates opportunities. A person who gives to others, whether through mentorship, financial support, or resources, attracts success. Generous people are often surrounded by other generous individuals, creating an environment where help and opportunity flow naturally. Many successful individuals have stories of how they gave freely, and in return, they received help, guidance, or financial blessings at the right moment. The act of giving builds goodwill, opening doors that may otherwise have remained closed. Some people hesitate to be generous because they believe they do not have enough to give. But generosity is not about the amount, it is about the intention. A small act of kindness, a small financial contribution, or even giving time and effort can make a significant difference. Those who develop the habit of giving, even when they have little, often find that their capacity to give increases over time. Wealthy people do not become generous because they have wealth. They become wealthy because they have a mindset of generosity. Generosity also teaches financial responsibility. When a person chooses to give, they naturally become more mindful of how their money is managed. They begin to think about their finances in a structured way, ensuring that they are not only securing their future, but also creating the ability to help others. Giving forces a shift in perspective from thinking only about personal needs to considering how money can serve a greater purpose. This level of financial awareness strengthens money management skills and leads to smarter financial decisions. Lastly, generosity creates a legacy. A person who gives is remembered not for what they owned, but for the impact they had. The greatest leaders, entrepreneurs, and world changers are those who use their wealth and resources to uplift others. Money alone does not create a meaningful life. What is done with it does. Generosity ensures that financial success is not just about personal gain, but about leaving a lasting impact that extends beyond one's lifetime. Control over your mind, mouth, and money is not just a principle, it is a path to power, purpose, and true freedom. The world is filled with distractions, temptations, and influences that push people to react instead of lead, to spend instead of invest, and to speak without wisdom. But those who master their thoughts, words, and finances are the ones who rise above the chaos and create a life of meaning. Your mind is the battlefield where success or failure is determined. If you control your thoughts, you control your actions. And if you control your actions, you control your destiny. Your mouth has the power to build or destroy, to inspire or discourage, to create or collapse. What you say not only shapes the lives of those around you, but also carves the direction of your own future. And your money, whether it rules you or serves you, will define your ability to live with peace, security, and influence. The difference between those who struggle and those who thrive is discipline. It is the ability to think before reacting, to speak with purpose, and to spend with wisdom. Weakness allows impulses to dictate life, but strength comes from mastering these three areas. The moment you decide to take control is the moment you step into a new level of power. Your future is not written by your circumstances, it is written by your choices. The mind you train today will determine the opportunities you seize tomorrow. The words you speak today will shape the relationships and reputation you build. The way you manage your money today will create either chains or freedom in the years ahead. You have the power. The question is, will you use it?